What's up, everybody? Good evening. I'm Mark Scott. I am your host. And today we're going to be doing something a little different than we've normally done on the past. Uh, you know, uh, I've gotten enamored with it's called software defined radios. And one of the things that I've done is I have started kind of monitoring air traffic that's kind of it's gone over my house. And I'm in a very unique situation, right? Where I get to see a lot of this awesome stuff, and I'll show you guys here in a second. Here, I'll switch back to my view here. But so let's start at the beginning. I saw a project one of the other architects at TBC had done to monitor the air traffic that was going over his house, and he was using something that's called a software-defined radio. What is a software-defined radio, you might ask? So I went out and bought this very, very, very cheap. Um, Back in the day, software-defined radios were very, very expensive. They've come down a heck of a lot now in price, so that almost anybody can afford them. The price point here is $23. It's not bad, and if you want to get a full blown setup going with an antenna and everything. It's actually a lot cheaper. You can do it with $29. But basically, what this little device does is a little USB device here, and you can see that the USB dongle on the back. And this allows a computer to hone in on radio broadcast frequencies that you may not know actually exist. So anything from radio towers, cell towers, anyone using walkie-talkies, aircraft control, tower communications. The sky's the limit on this thing. And what's really cool is that this SDR, this software defined radio, has a huge range, right? So 25 megahertz to 1,700 megahertz. That is a huge amount of bandwidth there. And the best part is that the you get to then use software to define exactly what range you want to be looking at. And that's really cool. So, for example, if you think about your car and the FM radio in your car, what it is in that little dial that kind of we don't have much, we don't really have dials anymore, but the buttons that allow you to change the station, and really all that's doing is it's just changing the band, the frequency band that you're actually listening to. So for example, here in Arizona we have 93.3, which is an alternative rock station. Well, 93.3 is on the 93 megahertz band, and I'm probably wrong on that, but there's a 93.3 megahertz band, and when you dial into that, you obviously get music. Well, modern day now, when we don't just pipe in music, we actually pipe out a lot of things. So the title of the track that's playing, the artist, some information about the radio station, things like that, all of which is accessible if you just know how to tune it. Well, this little device here allows you to tune into radio frequency signals, and that's what makes this really, really cool. Well, one of the cool things that you can do if you've got one of these little devices is you can actually tune into something that is called ADS-B. That is Automatic Dependent Surveillance-B broadcast. And every airplane now, as of January 1, must have an ADS-B transceiver or a transmitter. The transmitter just outpulses a bunch of really cool data. Well, why is that important? Well, well, I actually live in a very interesting area, and especially if you're in the East Valley of Arizona, Phoenix specifically, we have a lot of really interestingly placed airports. So I'll show you guys. So I'm sandwiched in the middle here. This right here is Phoenix Sky Harbor. That's an international airport that most people that are coming into the Phoenix area come in and out of. There's Phoenix Mesa Gateway Airport that's down here. There's a municipal airport, Channel Municipal Airport, that's down here. And we also have Falcon Field that's up here. So I've got a lot of aircraft that fly overhead. Specifically, too, I'll zoom in on this one. This is a level 1 trauma center. So they actually have a couple of different helicopter pads. They have all sorts of stuff here. So there's constantly airplanes and helicopters that are going overhead of my house. On top of over here is another in this area over here is another level 1 trauma center. So I get tons of aircraft flyovers all the time, which is really cool. So why not use my software defined radio and my aircraft overhead ability that we tend to get all the time and start reading some of the information that's being broadcasted outside of this ADS-B. And that's what we're going to work on today. And specifically, we're going to pipe it into ServiceNow. The reason we want to pipe it into ServiceNow is for persistence, right? So if I see something that's really, really cool, or if something really, really cool flies over my head, I want to be able to save that and see that. And I don't necessarily need to be home to see that. So what I have is this little antenna here. And this little antenna is just plugged into that USB stick, and that USB stick is then plugged into my computer. And when you put all the pieces together, whoa, almost dropped my antenna. When you put all the pieces together and load a couple of different drivers in that you can find some tutorials online. I'm not an expert in that, but once you do, you get this. And what we're looking at here is the flights that my little antenna connected to my USB dongle can actually see. This is in real time. So right now there are flights going overhead, or there is something at least within the range of my antenna that I can see. So let's pick one. So let's do this one, SWA 987. So SWA 987 is a Southwest Airlines flight. So we'll type this into FlightAware, SWA 987, boom. And what we should get, okay, so interesting. All right, so here's a plane that is about to land in Phoenix. You can see the map here, so I'll zoom in on that. So you can see there's a plane headed in right here into Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport, and it is within range of my antenna. So we're actually getting this information near real time out of this radio, which is really cool. So I can actually track these flights that are coming in and out, and I would love to be able to push that into ServiceNow. Well, one of the things that I found was messing around with this. Now, this is a program called 1090 Dump. 1090 Dump. And why is it called 1090 Dump? Well, ADS-B runs on the 1090 megahertz frequency. So ADS 1090, we can see, ooh, maybe it's not 1090. Ooh. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, I'm right. It's 1090 dump. Yeah, ADS 1090 dump. All right, so Dump 1090 is the program that I'm running, and Dump 1090 just allows the bytes and bits that are coming into that antenna to be interpreted correctly and categorized with what exactly is being shown on the screen here. Pretty cool. And we get a bunch of really cool data here. So the latitude and longitude, obviously, of where that airplane is, speed, heading, altitude, the flight number, and then squawk, which is how you would communicate with that plane if you were to call them over the radio. In my testing of this, what was really cool is 1090 Dump allows you to run a web server so that you can see all of the stuff that's happening in real time. So instead of me copying and pasting or writing it manually into FlightAware, I could go to this website and I could just look at what is output here. Well, unfortunately, there's a bug. And I can't get this to load. And so I started digging in here, probably more than I should have, looking at these JavaScript errors. And while I was looking at that, I noticed something really, really cool. So there's this initialize function here, and that initialize function actually calls out to another JavaScript file here that I just don't seem to have access to. I'm not sure exactly where it is. But within that JavaScript file, there's an actual get. There's a JSON get that's being done. And from there, which I just happened to stumble upon, I actually figured out that I can do this. So localhost 8080, 8080 is our port, and localhost obviously is just home. Dump 1090 is the software that we're running, and then data.json. And if I hit the run on this, look at that. There's all my information. So the goal for tonight is to be able to do a JSON or do a REST message inside of ServiceNow into a local host, into my local host here, and then pull that data back. Now, my goal with this and my guess on this is that I obviously need to run a mid server. If you're not familiar with ServiceNow mid servers, they're just a Java package that runs inside of your firewall. And it's really important because I don't necessarily... Oh boy, that came out of nowhere. Okay, I don't necessarily want to expose all of this data out beyond my firewall, right? And especially this computer. It's not a hardened computer. This is my desktop computer I use this for streaming. I don't want this guy running exposed to the internet. So I will install a mid server on this guy. And from there, I'll be able to poll with the REST messages. I should be able to poll localhost on 8080. I should be able to just pull this in, and then on a import set and on a schedule, I should be able to just yank all of that into ServiceNow and then dump it into a table. So without further ado, let's get started. I'm going to switch my view here. So we're going to go back to the, let's go back to my dev instance of ServiceNow. Good old dev 88493. Log in here. Hey, there we go. Okay, that took a hot second, but that's fine. All right, so step one, we need to install our mid server. So again, this is just the package that's going to be running locally on this machine. So I'm not too worried about getting this installed. This should be pretty quick. Throw that in there. Okay, now I'm gonna commit a little bit of a sin here. I'm just gonna throw this package anywhere really. I really don't care where it's running, and I'm probably going to make this a very immutable mid server. Like I'll just kill it later once I'm done. But you know, maybe I should probably put it in the right directory just so that I don't have to worry about it. But one of the things that I've learned with installing mid servers from my good friend John Diaz is that you really need to put them as close to root as possible because there is a file limitation, the file name limitation on the mid servers. So as close to C as possible if you're running on Windows. Obviously Linux isn't going to have that bit of a problem, but you can get yourself into some problems with credentialless discovery if you don't have this package set up properly. If the end goal is to make sure that it doesn't get so long, and you can see these names get very long here. So if I was to extract this, the name gets very long. You don't really need that. So what we like to do is set it up like this. So in our C drive here, new folder, call it mid server, and then we'd like to sub this out to which instance we're going to be running. So this is my dev 88493 instance, so I know exactly which one is running in case I'm running multiple. All right, cool. So now that I've got that set up, I can do my download. Come on in here. Just copy this file out. All right, and we're going to go mid server. Cool beans. All right, throw that in here. All right, while that's going, actually, I bought myself a Stream Deck to help with my streams, and it's been fun setting that thing up. So I've actually got a couple of little things loaded in here. So we'll hit the button. This will be the first time that I'm able to hit this button and it'll actually work. So I said the word cool, which kind of set me off. So let's see if it works.
Cool. Cool.
It did work. That's awesome. So I got a couple of other things. Let's see. I'm your typical developer. I try to clean it up for this stream, but every once in a while I tend to say the wrong words. So here we go for the. Oh, it didn't work. But what's cool is now that I realize that it's not working, I can launch. I need to. I've got Firebot already running. Where's my voice mod? There we go. All right, let's get voice mod going here. I need to add voice mod to my button list here. So I've got, I can actually like click a button and have it like open Visual Studio Code. So you'll see it open up here in a second. It's taking its time. Maybe that didn't work. I don't know. Oh, there it is. All right, so I can just with one button push and open a program, and then I've also got a couple of audio things here. So here's the bleep. No. Oh, because it didn't work. All right, there we go. Close it. Now it's open. Maybe you guys can hear it, but I can't. That's weird. Okay, try one more time. There it is. Look at that. Now I can say all the dirty words I want. That's cool. I've got a couple other things that are annoying in here, like let's do the rap trap horn. So I could be my own hype man. I love it. And then, of course, when I realize that something is not working, record scratch. So, all right. So that finished. Let's go through the install process here. Now, obviously, I need to do something. I need to create a user account. So user, create a new user account. So again, this is something that you'll have to do for every ServiceNow instance when you're setting up a mid server, right? If you don't have a user ID, you'll have to create one. So do mid server user mid server. A good password. My auto create. I have this weird thing in Chrome where it autofills everything, which is not cool, especially when I'm trying to do server, or I'm sorry, create users and things like that, like mid-server users. So now that we have the server user, we'll have to give it the mid-server role. All you have to do, roles, edit, and my prefill is messing with me. Mid server, yay. Okay. Save. Sweet. Okay.
Cool.
In context, I love it. Okay. Now we can go back. So here's our agent. Run installer.bat. Run. Eight, 493. If it hasn't aired out by now, it's probably going to work. Connection. All right, there we go. All right, cool. Now we can go next, and we're going to go. This is desktop mid server. The irony is not lost on me there. I'm okay with that wrapper name, and that's okay. All right, next and next. So we're going to start the mid server, and we're done. So exit, and let's go double check that our mid server is online. Yes, yes, you can leave. Might take it a minute to come in here. Or I know it installed correctly. It's weird. I've seen this happen before on Windows 10. It just does not want to. It does not want to play nice. Ayo! What up, Jace? It started. How's it going, man? If this is the part that I get stuck on, I'm going to be so mad. So mad. Yeah, buddy. You know it. Yeah, so let me just show you where I'm at right now. So I actually have it tracking in here in my CLI. All I need to do is install a mid server and have the mid server poll this guy right here, and we should be good to go. I know, right? Yeah, it's it's a little, yeah, that's cool. I know, right? Like it's insane. You'd be surprised what's out there, right? So I've been tooling around with this for quite a bit. Just listening to different frequencies, just listening to other people talk about. Um, is it tripling messages on the thread now? I don't see it tripling. That might be in OBS. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'll have to take a look at that. Um, I'm not sure. No, I'm gonna check. That's all right. We'll figure it out later. Um, Actually, let's go. Let me just double check Restream real fast. Uno momento, por favor. Let's see. All right, hit it, Jace. Let's see what happens here. No, no. There we go. I didn't think you meant to say that the first time. I'm not seeing any tripling. That's weird. You have to send me a screen cap and let me know. All right. If this does not load in, I'm gonna be so upset. Damn. I don't have any servers in here. This is not gonna be awesome if I can't get this to run. Huh? It's on the stream. Weird. 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 Oh! I see what you're saying. I get you. I get you. I get you. Why? That's so weird. You know what it is? I know exactly what it is. Let me do this real fast. In slobs, if I don't actually restart it here, I'm gonna refresh the just refresh the widget real fast, and then it should be good to go. I think I've had this on and like kind of messing with. I think I've had it open a few different ways, or maybe I've got it even open twice there. Refresh cache. Done. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, it'll be in the video. I know. We fixed it. Look at that. Working together to solve problems. It looks good to me. I'm good. I'm good with that. Yeah, I know. I know. You're just helping me out. All right. So I don't understand what's going on with this mid server. Let's. I think I might actually need to run this as admin. This is one of those things you end up having to debug services. Let's see if it's running and who it's running as. See, I tried to work out most of the kinks for the stream. I wanted to make sure that it wasn't just me screwing around here and not getting anything done. So yeah, it's just weird. It's just weird. I'm not sure why it's not running, but we'll figure it out. Is it an M? Is it M for mid server? Huh. Okay. Maybe it's not running. Yeah, so the data that it pulls back is it's going to be the flight number, which is really the tail number here, altitude, speed, heading, latitude, longitude. I would imagine sig is the signal strength, and then messages is the number of messages. Time is the last time that it actually saw it. So, for example, you can see how this one's ticking down. We haven't seen this OXF. Oop, it doesn't like that. We haven't seen this one for a little bit, so it may have taken off and it may have gone somewhere. Actually, that's a really cool tail number. I wonder, OXF. What is it? OXF. See, and now it's gone. Damn. Oh, that's okay. It's QT145. Now, some of these. Okay, so this has to be a. This looks like I'm pretty sure this is a helicopter. Oh no, it's a single engine plane, so it's just a. It just looked cool. The tail number looked cool, but it looks like it's somebody doing laps, getting their flight hours in. Okay, so let's switch back to debugging our mid server here. This is really going to put a damper in things. If I can't get this mid server running, I'm going to be. It's a serious sticking point. Okay, let's see if it's. Oh, yeah, I know. It just may be one of those things. I don't know that everybody wants to watch me struggle through this on a live stream, you know? Let's see if it's. I swear it was. I don't see it running. So one of the things that you should see it running as a service here, and I just don't see that happening. Yeah, I don't see anything running. Let's check agents.log and just double check. I really didn't want to jump into that, but if I have to, we can. Yeah, it sucks. Like I hate having to open that damn thing up all the time, and just see if it's running because it's supposed to be headless, right? It's not supposed to be something that you've got to open a whole bunch. Let's see what the successfully connected to instance. Do connected. All right, let's go back. Like, can I run the installer again? Yeah. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. And especially if you're on that many for, 30, that's well, I mean, it is based on Java, so Java tends to leak memory like it's a colander. See, everything works. So actually, let's close this. Yep, quit the installer. Let's run this as admin and just double check that we're not in a permissions issue here. Mm. Really? You don't need to run as admin in Orlando. Okay. Okay. This is me testing in Orlando. Yeah, I didn't mean to do that. I don't want to test features. I want to build cool stuff. I would, you know what? I think that there are probably people on this planet that would kill to um, read your notes, Jace. I mean, it's like that scene from The Water Boy with the little green book or whatever. Like people are going to, you know, just want all of the stuff that you build. Man, I am not seeing the service run. This is really, really making me angry. Processes. Let's see. It's like it's just starting up and then dying. Java's running. What was that called? Pretzel salt helper. That's awesome. Mid servers required your greater mid servers for discovery. Let's see. What'd you send me, Jace? Require special find mid servers no longer need just redirect to the agent folder. That's that's funny because if you put it on if you put it where I put it, because I put it just on C mid server this, I'm wondering if there's a permissions issue with that. But I've had this issue before when running on it on Windows 10. That you're gonna make me do this, aren't you? All right. Now, cd. What did I call it? Mid server. I almost wrote ls. Ls is the Unix command. Oh, dude, I don't know what you. You're not making me do anything. I know, but you're making me want to do it now. This is awesome. Uh, start up app. I should just run start. That isn't what I thought it was. Really? Not in the right. Okay, now we can do it. What? That's an interesting error message. Now I gotta go look at this. Oh, there's your logic. There it is, Jace. Look at that. If service is stopped, does he start current service? Oh man, I bet this isn't installed as a service. That's really gonna make me angry. Yeah, it looks like it's good because you can see the air level here, and then it tries to check admin, but I don't think yeah, because you can see here's the logic where it's like, oh, go try this. I don't know what this is doing because I'm not a batch expert here, but if admin tag Tanuki wrapper is used, admin go to EF file. Okay, well, let's go see if we can force it open from the bin. Kill that. Then we're gonna go mid start, I think is what it. Yes, yes, look at that. Things are starting. Yay. Why I had to do that, I have no idea. Mid service start. Okay, so now we should have the service running. Task manager. See if we can find it in here. There it is. Okay. Well, I don't know why, for the life of me, that start.bat did not work. But when I manually added the mid.bat start with bin from the bin here, everything just worked just fine. So hopefully we can come in here, hit the. Oh, look at that. Okay, we're making progress. Now that's obviously not something that we're going to want to do long term, right? That's going to every time I restart this machine, then the mid server is not going to start up. But obviously, it's something that we'll have to fix. But I'm not super worried about it. All right, validate our mid server so that we can start doing some cool stuff on here. That'll take a few minutes. I'm not sure why it takes that long, but validating. Hey, yeah, hey. Hellos. So the other thing I got to start doing is, Jace, I was talking about this earlier. What? Oh, because it's validating. Um, what is that? That sounds cool. Oh, hey. Yeah, no problem. No problem. Yeah, I love having questions. So pop up if you got a question, if something doesn't make sense. But I'll just give you guys a quick recap of what we're doing here. So what I've got is I've got this little software-defined radio here, this new electric, and it is a super cheap software-defined radio. And a software-defined radio is just a like a USB dongle that allows my computer to tune into certain radio frequencies. And if I know what I should be expecting on the other side, I can do certain things with it. So if I know that I've tuned to an FM radio station, I should play music and pipe that through the headphones. If I'm connected to some sort of data, then that data should be displayed somewhere. Well, what we're trying to do right now, because I live in between about five major airports, or well, I live in between a bunch of different airports, and a level one trauma center with like helicopters going over my house all the time. So I live in this very unique area where I get to read. I'm very close to aircraft. Well, what this little stick allows me to do is read in the tail number, altitude, and things like that using this ADS-B is automatic dependent surveillance broadcast. And every airplane now in the United States is supposed to have this. So as long as I'm listening, theoretically, I should be able to see all of the air traffic that's coming over my head. We've installed the dongle. We have set up. I've got a little antenna that's sitting next to my desk here, and I'm actually polling all that information using a out-of-the-box package that somebody else has written. So we can see here, these are all the flights and the tail numbers. There's some altitude readings, some speed, some heading, latitude, longitude, and then the signal strength, obviously. Which is funny because this one right here, that's pretty dang strong. Wonder where this guy is. I need to stop doing that. So, given that I have a flight number, so GAJ832, so I can just pop this guy, GAJ832, and hit enter. So you can see that there is a plane here. This would be just about my general vicinity over my state. They're obviously flying overhead, but they are not. They're not stopping here, so you can see it doesn't matter. They don't have to be stopping at the airport. They just have to be flying overhead at some point, and that's what we've captured here. So yes, yes. So you can literally just build that map out, and that's what a lot of these things do. Is they have this mapping interface, and you just build a little map. What's really neat, and something that I was just absolutely flabbergasted that it worked, was if you have an OTG cable. So OTG, I don't remember what the OTG cable. It basically just gives you a little USB dongle on the side of your phone. I can plug this dongle in to that dongle on my phone and run an Android app that actually maps everything and just shows all of the aircraft positionings on the map, which is really, really cool. But for the purposes of this, we want to do this into the mid server. So I'm pretty sure my mid server we want to throw it into service now. So we're going to obviously do that through the mid server. So I'm pretty sure that my mid server has finished validating, which it has. Just reload the form and double check that it is online. It is online. All right, now we get to go to some ServiceNow Kung Fu here. So REST message. So let's create a new REST message. And I'm not going to put the, I guess I should put it in an update set now, shouldn't I? Let's create a new update set, which I don't have all the awesome stuff that I normally have. I need to load Explorer Toolkit and all that onto this instance. I just haven't done it. Update sets, if I could spell. All right, so let's create a new update set so that if anybody was ever interested in doing any of the stuff that we wanted, local, sorry. So we'll hit new. Oh, yeah, you're right. Scoped app is not a bad idea on this. Let's do a scoped app. Let's do a scoped app. Why not? Let's do a scoped app. So I'll build a new scoped app in here. Create application, and what should we call it? ADS-B playground? I don't know. Yeah, it makes the cleanup so much easier. I'm totally on board with that. And I think my original intent, I originally thought about doing this as a scoped app, but we're just gonna call it ADS-B because why make it complicated? Um, stores data from ADS-B enabled USB dongle. Stores data from ADS-B software defined radio. Meh, that's good. I like acronyms like that. So we're going to hit create. I don't know that I want to build any roles onto this. We'll just hit continue on this. Do the standards for list and forms. Yeah, we're just going to do classic. I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to deal with learning stuff, too much stuff at the same time. So we'll obviously need a table for things, but I'm not getting any. There we go. So we'll create a new table. Create a table from scratch. Now, I'm debating that whether I want to extend a CMDB table and put the aircraft in as a CMDB entry, or if I just want to create a table from scratch and just yank it in. I think for the purposes of this, I may just create that table from scratch, because I don't know that these are great CMDB tables, and I don't want to deal with the CMDB overhead as of right now. Plus, if I extend the CMDB table, I'm going to get a bunch of out-of-the-box fields that I just really don't have a whole lot of use for. So let's just go ahead and create that table from scratch. And we are going to have a lot of fields here. So let's go with, let's grab the flight. And that'll be a string. And 40 should be good on that. Exactly. And we're going to do squawk. If I could spell. How do you spell squawk? I don't even know. You know what? Let's go with that. And integer should be good. I don't think these squawks can be 0 based, so I think we're okay. So the problem would be if it started with a 0. I would want to keep that 0, that padding in here. But I don't know that any of these numbers start with 0, so we should be good to go. Yeah, you think, okay, so keep it straight for what's 1-to-1 on here. So let's do that. You know what? You're right, Jace. You're right. Let's do it. String. Mode. I don't know that I really care about mode, but we're going to pull it in no matter what. String. And we're just going to set that to 10 because I know that the mode's only going to be 1, but it's fine. All right. Add a new field. Go Alt, which is the altitude, and we're going to go integer. Yeah, I totally agree with you. That's not a journal field. Integer, add a new field. I do like this interface though. This has been so cool. We're going to throw speed in here. It's not going to make a whole lot of sense because this data is going to be static, but it's fine. Let's pull in everything that we can just for the purposes of being complete here. And we're going to do decimal. Man. Ooh, I don't know that I like that. I'll do LNG, but LONG scares the heck out of me. And why does that scare the heck out of me? LONG is an actual data type. So I don't necessarily want to name the field that because that scares me. Sig. And that's an integer. And these two are metadata. I'm not sure that I really care about this. So we'll keep those out of here. So continue. I don't know, what should we call this? Flights? Or, I'm just gonna call it aircraft for now. Like Jay says, we can always change this. So sure, we can make it extensible so that nobody has any problems with it. All right, continue. All right, it's going to configure the table for us. All right, continue. Done with tables because that's the only table we need, and we're done. All right, so Let's get this rolling here. This stores data about overhead lights. Yeah, and I'm totally fine with that. I would rather make it I'd rather make it accessible, super accessible. So I'm just gonna get admin in here because I don't really care. That's a good point. That's a good point. That's a good point. I like that. Yeah. Done with apps. All right, let's call it a day. Done. Cool. Now, sweet. All right. So now we have our cool little aircraft table in here with all of our. I'm sorry, that's the wrong. So now we have all of our aircraft table with all of our stuff that we can plop in here. Now, what we need to do is create a REST message. So REST message, doopy doopy doo, name. And this is ADS. Ha 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 ha. All right, how do I plan to populate this? This little guy is running. So this little console app here, when it's running, look at that. We can see, look at how many I've got in here. That's awesome. This guy actually runs a pseudo web server on the back end. So all I have to do is, and I found this on accident, all I have to do is hit this button and I get, yeah, so I'm not exactly sure how that works right now. I know that it's streaming things and I'm pretty sure it's just constantly updating this. So I think I can just tag it or just hit it a couple of times and get the data that I want to get out of it. And we'll just do it on an interval. So, you know, every 5 minutes or so, I can pull something, or every minute or whatever we decide the interval is going to be, we can yank that in. So, ADSB, software defined radio. Endpoint is going to be this endpoint here, which is technically our local host. And we'll just leave the scoping alone for right now. Submit this. Just hit save real fast. We'll do a default get on that, and we should be in like Flint here. So now, authentication type. There isn't any authentication type. It's just hanging out there in the breeze. So let's see if we can pull some data in. So we'll hit test. Unsupported protocol localhost. That is totally fine. Sure I didn't. Let's see if that it may still not like that, and we may have to do 127.0.0.1. Yep. No, not yet. You're right. Thank you for catching that. There we go. Desktop mid, there we go. Okay. Update. Now we're cooking with gas. Okay. Let's do test. Hey, there we are. Okay. Cool, cool, cool.
Cool. Cool, cool, cool.
All right. Now that I have all of this, I should be able to just do an import set. So instead of, I kind of want to use all the out of the box. Yeah, the gift's cool, huh? This is my new toy. So my Stream Deck is my new toy. What I'm thinking is import set web service. The type of transform direct web service, script web service, and providing web service interface import set tables. All right, sorry, Jace, I missed that one. Oh, you can use the new Orlando stuff. Okay, what specifically? Because I'd love to use the new import and import set APIs. Is that you want to throw a link at me? Is that this? Is that this import set web service? Based on the associated transform mounts by default. I feel like that's what we want, but I could be wrong on that. Scope scriptable imports. Yeah, shoot it over, man. When you get it, let me know. Because I feel like we're super, super close on this. You know what? Let's just... I almost say let's just build it. It's a script. And that's what I want. I want to be able to pull this script in. So, you know, let's just try it and see what happens. We can always... try it later. That'll be my target table. Label. Oh, I don't want to. No. I don't want to create a web service. See, okay, I knew I had read this somewhere. You're totally right, and that's exactly what I want to do. You are 100% correct. All right. If you've never used a data source inside of ServiceNow, this is... We're just going to kill that. All right. Import. This is one of my favorite things inside of ServiceNow. Data source. Type. We're going to go custom. Ha ha ha. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, we're going to go 80 SB. Or no, you know what? I'm going to call it dump 1090 JSON, because that's what it's called. What's that table name? We're going to go aircraft, something like that. I don't know. Sounds good. Cool, cool, cool.
Cool. Cool, cool, cool.
All right. I'm just going to hit save on this. Import set table must be an extension of... Oh, haha. Aircraft import. Yeah, let's see it. Now in scope, do you want an example of furniture? Okay, cool, cool. Yeah. Oh, and you did it with a REST message. Chase, you have no idea how much time you save me on a daily basis. Like, I'm telling you, I owe you so much. Like, all right. So thank you, Jace. This will definitely do some awesome stuff. So let's, since we've already created that REST message, I don't want to lose sight of that. So we'll kill this. We're going to go into the default get. And we're going to go preview script usage. I know, I'm the same way. So really we should do it within our try catch here, because that's the best way. If the message can be communicated through the ECC queue either by setting a mid-server calling and executing, one needs to set skip sensor to be true, otherwise one may get an intermittent error. Yep, I remember doing that. So we're going to skip the sensor because we do not want it to run like a, since the ECC queue runs discovery, there's no sensor or probe that we're going to run, so we got to tell it explicitly not to do that. So this will be the beginning of this. Hit save. And again, that was just a copy pasta. That wasn't anything super, super intense. All right. Response object, I love it. neato. I can't deal with this. There we go. All right, that looks prettier. Actually, I hate it. All right. Because I can't look at it when it's... All right. Cool. There we go. Now everything's set and I can actually look at it. So, okay. Let's go back to what you were saying. Yeah, record list. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. So let's put it through its paces here because this will be an actual like data ingest, right? Okay. I want to see what you're doing. So for each. Oh, and then you build the map. I love it. This is so cool. Okay. Taking that because I love it. Okay, so for each result, which isn't going to be user, it's now going to be aircraft. Like mode is easy to read. Oh, okay. Oh, it is. Look at that. That's so nice. I love it. And is this just a is this button just loading in and out the CSS, Chase? Or are you doing some funkiness on the back end? I saw it kind of flash there for a second. Oh, it's a theme. Oh, okay. Whatever. You know what? Why reinvent the wheel if you know, there's no point. All right. Sorry about that, guys. All right. Cool. Let's keep trucking here. This went so fast. I'm so surprised. All right. So let's go back to this. All right. Ooh. I hate that. Why does it do that? All right. Hex. Mark that window? What do you mean? Just copy paste. I don't know that I can. Then it just goes blank. Edit. Mark. It just goes blank. It's weird. Yeah, it doesn't like. I think because it's constantly refreshing that page. I don't know that it likes that. But it's cool. We'll make it work. To your point, and this what's made it really super easy here. Since we kept everything the same, we should be good to go. So there's mode, squawk. And you guys will see in a second, if you've never done a transform map like this, you'll see in a second why this becomes so cool. Because I know we're writing a little bit of code in this, but it's not anything. The map will have the U in the name. Okay, so let's just try it. Let's try it without. We can always add it. Okay. fly out. So yeah, if you've never done a transform map like this, you'll see in a second here why this becomes so much cleaner. Because I'll just write a little bit of code that'll basically map everything together. Which is all we're doing here. Did we do signal? I don't remember if we did signal. I think we did. You know what? Let's just take it. In our transform map, we'll just take it because at this point we can always just ignore data if we want to. Missing a comma up there. All right, cool beans. So save. All right, now theoretically we should be able to just test this. So test load 20 records, which will just give us the first 20. We don't have to completely process everything in this, and we'll see what comes back. Interesting. It doesn't like the table. I wonder why. But shouldn't it create the table automatically? Okay, so you actually loaded data in. So did you do an import set from Excel and then do then import? And then that just kind of created everything for you? That just seems... Look. All right, well, here you go. You guys are learning live here. Orlando, this is one of the workarounds that we'll have to do is we'll have to work in you know the constraints of what we have here. So we'll create a little Excel doc and call it a day. Should be pretty easy. And all we're doing here, the import set table has to exist before things can work. It seems once the table was made, it worked exactly like I thought. So could you just create the table manually? Do we have to do it from Excel? Like I'm wondering if I could just build this import set table, but then I've got to actually extend the import set table and do all that funkiness that it's got. I don't want to do that. I would rather do it the right way and actually do like a little import set table and just yeah, I totally agree with you because then all the linkages are created. So all right, so let's just make this little pseudo table here. So hex load squawk wk speed heading lat long sig messages TI. And then did you actually have to put like some sample data in here? With like data, does SN make the import columns with the correct type? I don't actually have to put some data in here, aren't I? That's fine. Just one row. Yeah, that's import the Excel tables for the first time I create the required fields in the import set table. I did need at least one row of data. Yeah, that's I'm yeah. Okay. So we'll just do it. Let's take let's take our time. 26, 23. It's a bummer, but you know what? If it saves us some time in making this thing work a little bit better, then that's fine. And I want to keep it as native as possible. 1318. I just, you know, there's something to be said about keeping everything out of the box and using the tools that we already have. So heading, interesting. Heading is padded, so let's just see. Or no, let's do. 3.430. Okay. Yeah, that's a good point. Let me just do some. That should be okay. Yeah, and that's kind of where my concern is here. Is if I like, for example, heading, right? Heading is 043, right? But when I hit enter on this, it just turns it into 43, which I guess we can figure out on the other end. And it's not like I'm creating vectors or anything that I'm going to try to actually send any of this data to. I just want to see it stored, get stored in ServiceNow. So let's save this. Oh, can I do that with just the little tilde? Okay. There we go. Awesome. That works. Okay. So let's save this bad boy. Why did that? That was weird. Okay. Let's go to desktop. Go flight test data. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if it doesn't work the first time, we'll do it again. That's what I like about import sets. All right, so do some load some data, create a table. I don't remember what I tried to call it. And that should be enough. I'm going to hit go on this guy. Let's look at the loaded data. All right, cool.
Cool. Cool.
All right. I wish I had a different button. That's the only one I have programmed right now is just that one. Every time I hear myself say cool, I want to hit it. All right, so I guess I can delete it now. Ew. Do I want to delete it? Yeah, I should be okay with to delete that. Yeah, so it's called a Stream Deck. So I'll show you guys here. So this is it's called it's an Envato Stream Deck, and it's just a little USB device that has OLEDs buttons, and you can program it, which is really cool. And then you can actually page through it. So, for example, I have my first page here. I can actually change things on the stream. I can hit all these little buttons, and I can actually I can. There's a and these are the only there. Those are the three that I've got in the cool. And then I can launch all of my stuff from here, which is really neat. And then I can, I can put the stream in standby. So let me put it in standby real fast just so you guys can see what it looks like. So it's neat, right? And it controls slobs, it controls OBS, it controls everything. It's just much easier to just switch between scenes and stuff. So I love being able to, yeah, and it works. I tried using just my phone because there's a slobs remote for your phone. Um, there's all sorts of stuff, and it just didn't work properly. So this thing is, I'm like, yeah, if I'm gonna pay the money, it's gonna work. I'll put a support ticket in if it doesn't. But it out of the box just worked. It's awesome. It is so much fun. The one downside that I have to it is it doesn't have a switch, so I can't turn it off. If it's plugged into my machine, it's plugged into my machine. There's no going back. So that sucks, but whatever. All right, I'm gonna delete this because I don't want this bad data in here. And now we should be able to go back to our data source. And we should be able to test load. Yeah, it's well worth it. What the heck? My guess is my table's wrong. That's what I'm thinking. Oh, that looks right. Hmm. What? Let me see. Let me see. It might. Yep. Yep. You're totally right. It's the U. It's the U underscore. Yes, I'm familiar with it. I know. I don't know why I don't use that. I don't know why. I just, I should use it more, but I just don't. I have no idea. But a good lesson there. Even though you're in scope, it is going to create these. So Meh. It's okay. There's probably a reasoning for it. Alright. Tesla. Let's see. Maybe this will work. Invalid target table. Why is it mad about that? Yeah, it's trying to load Excel again. Excel using attachment. That's... Am I in the wrong data source? It... Boy, if it's not, that's going to be a problem. If it is not in scope, that is going to be an interesting problem. Okay, let's just make sure that we're in the right table scope here. There's the import table. There it is right there. And it looks like it's within my scope. Yeah. Yeah. So it's not a scope issue. And it did create my fields. I don't know why it's trying to do this file attachment. Yeah, invalid table. Import set not created. Invalid target table. So weird. Hit this button again and see if I'm in the right place. I'm wondering if this is just the old thing, the old logs in here, and this is my error. Maybe the map is wrong. Sure, yeah. In the script, yeah, let's just try the static data. Are you thinking that the actual mapping here is wrong? So let's just run it with... Okay, let's see what it is. Error when I create a new data source, try to run the... Okay. Have the correct X path selected. For some reason it didn't work when I entered. Okay, alright, well let's give it a shot. Agreed. Agreed. Let's see. What did the squawk come in as? Was that a number? Yeah, it was. Okay. Yeah, should have. Oh, no. Hold on, before we go down this rabbit hole. I have an idea. I think I know where my error is. Remember I called that... Let's look at the lon, L-O-N, hex, squawk. There is no mode. Yep. Hex, squawk, flight, lat, lat, lon. Don't. This is totally different. Oh. No, messages. It's okay. We'll map it. Scene messages, speed. I don't know what that. I don't know what that is. Track. What the hell is track? Well, if I don't know what it is, I really don't care. So scene, messages, speed, altitude, lon, lat, flight, squawk, and hex. So sig can come out of there. Heading can come out of there. This turns into speed, I want to say. Yeah. Altitude. Flight. Squawk and hex. Okay. Maybe? Come on. Oh. What? No, that's the wrong. No, I'm on the wrong view. I'm getting tired now. It's still saying invalid table. No. Is that? That's not it. I think we're chasing our tails on this one. It wasn't sort of descending. So my top thing, it just says nothing. Okay, rest. Let's go to our rest message. Rest message. It's like it's not getting anything back. There we go. That took it a second. Stuff's coming back. I mean, it comes back, so what the heck? Wonder if I have to set the mid server. Nope, never mind. Okay, let's go to the mid server. Let's just run desktop mid server. Yep, line 18 should execute. Maybe I mean, maybe it's because I didn't specify the mid server in there, but I didn't think I had to if I put it on the message. But we'll try it. Tesla 20 records. Nothing. Hmm. Okay. Well, let's start. Let's start throwing some log messages in here. So. This is, I wonder if, can I do, no, I don't have my fanciness here where I can just inject that. Can't add there was some cool stuff in Orlando where you could add a breakpoint that would basically allow you to execute some code, so I wouldn't have to sit here and look at this, but it's fine if that doesn't work. Hit save. That's true. And I probably should be. What? What? Okay, now I gotta go into a background script. This is... Oh boy, I can't believe that. It's like, it doesn't see anything. It's like nothing's running. Okay. Data source. Yeah, me too. That's why I'm like, this is just weird. So we'll run this. Function log is not allowed in scope. Damn it. I can't do print. I gotta do debug. Info. Will info print it out? I'm just not in scoped apps enough. Okay, see, now this is some this thing works. We're almost there. I can almost taste it. We're almost there. I mean, the other option could be that we just smash this together and in a script include or something and just run it on a schedule. The rest color, how the script, yeah, and I'm wondering if there's some cross scoping issues here. You want to try some static data? All right. Let's see if we can just jam it in there. All right, data source. Which, to be honest with you, we probably should have done to begin with, but we actually fixed a lot of issues that we had here. I don't. What's that? Oh, there we go. Okie dokie. I don't know what that's going to do. We'll test load 20 records. I did save. Or it should save when I exit it. Yeah, it saved. Yeah, when you hit test load, it actually does a full post back and does a save on it. So we should be good to go. It just didn't do anything. Yeah, I know. It's one of those things that I had to learn. I've built quite a few import sets that I could just click that button. But that didn't do anything. Nothing. Damn it, Chase. I thought you were going to have something like super, super insightful and we were just going to like crack this egg. Shouldn't need to. I've actually set these up where it didn't with no transform maps because then if you look at it, there's a run transform map or create transform map since there's not one set here. We can try it. Yeah, but I don't see any data, so I don't know how I'm going to transform anything if I don't see the data. Okay, so what if we did this a little differently? All right, let's. I don't want to necessarily lose everything that we shouldn't lose everything. Okay, integration hub. So let's create a new action for integration hub and see if maybe we can do it that way. Why not? Yeah, we could try recordless rest. I'm just not as familiar with it. But yeah, that shouldn't make a difference. So DSB data. I don't know. I don't care. Submit. Yep. First web service request. I know this is getting a. Oh yeah, it's really cool. So I know that this is getting away from what we wanted, but we can use this. I'd rather use the new hotness, right? I know. I love workflow. I don't want to give up workflow. Do do do. What? No, I don't define connection inline. That's what I wanted. Okay, so we use the mid server. There's a way to set the mid server. I know that there is, but I really, at this point, since I only have one, I don't know that I care that much. Malformed URL encountered. Okay, that's fine. And it did use my desktop mid server, so we're. What your mid has the rate? Yeah, I just wanted to explicitly set it just so that there isn't any like if I throw another mid server on here, since that mid server is the only one that can technically talk to it. I just didn't want it to have a problem. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. chop that guy out. Put that guy in. Ooh, we got something back. Hey, look at that. Okay, so it is talking. And we are getting stuff back. Okay, cool, cool. Now, we will cancel. Data is always good. We're going to hit publish on this. And if we can get this done in the next 12 minutes, that would be awesome. Okay, switching back to this, let's switch it to our REST integration hub. Format is JSON, and we'll select our action. What? Oh, I got ahead of us. I got ahead of us. Okay. Let's just. I got ahead of it. ADS BSDR poll. It's okay. I think we're close. Don't know why it wants it. So there's this data source request, and then it creates my REST step. So it actually takes a lot of this out, so I don't have to. It just something was wrong. There was this data source request that I should have created here, but I didn't know that because I've never done this one before. But we use the mid, set the base URL, and then the resource path. It created all the linkage for me, so it took all the guesswork out. But I did it. I was too fast. I was too impatient. So. Maybe I have to publish it. That would be my guess. If it's not published, it's not accessible. Cool, cool. There we go. Path for each row. Separate each element by... I just want root. I should just want root. Because I don't have to... Oh, JSON input starting with JSON array is not supported. Oh no. Are you kidding me? Do I have to do that? That's cool. Okay, it worked. So there's 20. There's 20. So let's look at the loaded data. Okay, there's something wrong here because flight hex. We're getting lat but not long. Okay. Why is that happening? We've got some of it. Don't. Well. Hey, thanks for stopping by. Okay. cool. Um, okay, so where are we at? We've got the path. We've got all of this stuff. So let's. All right, let me maybe. You know what it is? I know exactly what it is. I misspelled these names, so I bet that this table needs to have. You know what I'm going to do? We're going to start again. 2. Okay. And we're going to load all the records. My guess is that I had created the table with all of that craziness in there, and it didn't match up. Yep, there it is. So the problem was that the column names didn't match up and it didn't know what to do. So it just tried to match up as much as it possibly could. And what I ended up doing was I just put that 2 there, and that 2 created a brand new table. And then once it created the table, everything just kind of slid into place there. So that was cool. All right. So I now have that going. Now we got to go and build our transform map. So that is our source. Here is our target table. So aircraft. Now, again, once we got all this up and running, so this is dump 1090 to aircraft. I'm sure there's a better naming convention for this, but this is what we're going to do. All right. Now, this is my favorite, because now all we have to do is create this field mapping. Schedule maybe plan. Yep. So let's do the mapping assist. If you guys have never used the mapping assist, it is super slick. All I need to do is add my stuff. There's my altitude, and there's my altitude. Here's my flight. And there's my flight. Here's my hex. There's my hex. I know it's so old, but it works. It works so well. Lat and lat. Long and long. That might be all we have, because there. Well, let's just. No. Kill that. Squawk and squawk, and then I swear. Oh, yep, speed. Speed and speed. Okay. Sorry, I was looking at the screen. I missed. Yes, I know the auto mapping button. I do not trust it, and it's not anything wrong with it. I just don't like that it's doing magic back there, and if it doesn't work, then it isn't great. So like altitude and alt, it's obviously not going to find that. Flight and hex, it probably would. Flight, hex, and lat, it would probably find, but the rest of them, it would just be totally flummoxed on. So we're going to hit save on that. So we've got all of our fields coming in here, and I do have a coalesce. I want to coalesce on flight. So coalesce field, if you're unfamiliar with the coalesce field, will basically make sure that any of these, anything that comes in here will uniquely identify and say, hey, if I see this number, go ahead and update it. If I don't see the number, create a new record. And the next time I see the number, go ahead and update. So I don't want to create a bunch of extraneous data. I just want to update the flight information when I see a flight come over. And then maybe we'll even add a journaling field so I can see when things are updated. All right, update. Cool. All right, now that we've got the transform map, I can actually run the, let's start a schedule here. So scheduled imports. If I could spell properly. Okay, there we go. We're gonna create a new scheduled import. Okay, do not run as me. We need to run as system admin so that if my account ever gets disabled in my PDI, why it would, I have no idea. But we're going to do our dump 1090, and we're going to run it periodically. All right, how often should we run this? Should we run it once a minute, every 30 seconds. I don't. Every 30 seconds seems a bit intense. But you know what? For right now, let's just do it every 30 seconds. Yeah. And we don't have any pre or post imports, so we should be good to go. So I'm going to hit go. Oh, I didn't set the data source, duh. Go ahead and hit execute now. And let's see what we got. What was the name of that table? I swear I had a ADS. No. What? Where did my flight? That's what I called it. Okay, but it's not in there. Where the heck is my table? Open record. Aircraft is what I called it. Damn it. Do I not have a... Oh, do it later. I always say that I'm going to do it later and then I never do. Boom. Oh, I know. 60 seconds to the top of the hour. But we actually made it. Look at this. Look at this. We actually made it. So here is my flight. Now, I'd really like to see this go into metric base or something. That would be really, really cool. But I don't know that we have the time right now to go into metric base. Metric base would be a lot better place for, we could do some performance analytics. We could probably map some stuff out and show it off. But, this is a good stopping point for us tonight. The one thing that I will show you guys, and this is kind of a gotcha, is this this Latin along here. We would need to configure this to be a little bit longer. So my decimals are a little short here. Let's go into here. Max length is 15. Can I up that? I'm pretty sure I can up that to... All right, so let's go back. Mapping pages, eh? Yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool. Let's do that. Let's do it. That maybe a project for another night. Yeah. So basically, so what did we do? All right. I now have all of the information coming in from this CLI. The CLI has an API that I can go and query. Yeah, that'd be cool. Device specific stuff. I may actually want to tie this into a FlightAware. So the FlightAware database allows you to pull in a bunch of different information. So instead of just sitting here and going, "Oh, that's cool," I could actually link it to the FlightAware and go, "Oh, here's the flight numbers." So let's pull one of these flight numbers here. This is I know this one is a Southwest flight, so I can pull this in potentially with the FlightAware API, knowing that I've got this flight number, and I can grab all of this information and actually throw it into ServiceNow. So potentially, landing and arrival times if we wanted to. There's gate departures. I mean, we could get, and even aircraft type, we can get super crazy. And this would be a great like CMDB entry, right? So, what was the aircraft type? How big was it? So here's the B, 737. All this information. Yeah, it's there. Avoid time. Oh yeah. I know what you're saying. Yeah, the avoid the actual arrival and departure times. Yeah, it would get hairy in there. I don't know where I would actually put that, but that would be neat. But I know, I know. I've actually written, so funny enough, I've actually written a library on it. It's one of my top community posts on the ServiceNow community site, which is just here are some functions that I've written to get. Yeah, I do. Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, so if you guys don't understand what Jason's saying, Arizona does not, parts of Arizona do not celebrate daylight savings time, which means that we actually flip between two time zones, MST and PST, which means sometimes we're the same as California, sometimes we're the same as like Colorado and the Rockies. Um, but yeah, here I'll show you real fast. We did a large did a large project for time cards, specifically with how our internal team, our internal users actually report time cards. I'm trying to remember what is my. And one of the things that I needed to do was one of the things I had to do was let me get my password here. Where is my password? Dang it. Developer. And then I think I can go to my, if I log in. So anyway, we did a large time card implementation internally, and I needed to be able to do things like get the beginning of the week. So not necessarily the not the ServiceNow side of the beginning of the week, but I needed to get like Monday and certain things like that. And it was a pain in the rear. I never have the right password for Dev. Dang it, where is it? If you, where is my? I can get to it. ServiceNow developer MVP. Haha. Get on Twitter. You got it. And then let's see, where are my posts? So I'll shoot it over on Twitter. But there we go. Here it is get the beginning of the provided date time of the week. So I don't want to do this week. I want to do here's my date and get the beginning of the week, and it doesn't exist. So all the date time manipulations inside of ServiceNow, gs.beginning of this week is great if I want to get this week, but I want to get the beginning of a provided week. So given a value, given a date, here's the provided week. So I actually answered my own question here, but I actually built this. I built a bunch of different logic in here to get certain things based on a relative date based on the time that you pass in. And this has worked out pretty well for me. I'm not a date math guru, but I hate date math, so I didn't want to do it more than once. And this is actually what I built to do that. So getting the first day of the week, getting the last day of the week, which also would be like 11:59 on a Friday. It's not necessarily what day or what time is it on Friday is a good question. So I push the time there. But yeah, I've done daytime funkiness. I hate it, hate it, hate it. It is not fun. But yeah, so I agree with you, Jace. I would like to stay away from time as much as possible. But anyway, so recap. What have we got? We have a software-defined radio, which allows us to tune into aircraft that are flying overhead of my house. I have connected that to my desktop server here. My desktop server is running the mid server. My mid server is connected to my ServiceNow instance. My ServiceNow instance calls out to a JSON API using an integration hub. Awesome that we very quickly threw an integration hub action together using the JSON format there. And then I transform that from the import set table into my actual table here, and we're getting all of this information. It's not real time, but it's pretty damn close. It's every 30 seconds we're pulling this in. So this is all the awesome information that we get here. So yeah, yeah. If anybody wants to follow this up, I think. I think that's a great stopping point for today. We've made some awesome progress and actually shown that this proof of concept could work. One of the things, if you've got any real, even older tech or things like that, this is obviously something that's out in the physical world, that then we're using the mid server to access, and that mid server is really that bridge between everything physical and your ServiceNow instance. So we're using the mid server to bridge that gap and take things from a local machine into your ServiceNow instance, which is hosted in the cloud. So super secure. Didn't have to open any ports. Didn't have to do anything in my firewall. Just had to install the mid server and get some things running. But you can see how we did it in about an hour here. We got everything. Everything going. It's called a SDR, software defined radio. But I have this the new elect, and I'll throw that in Discord real fast for you here, Jace. There you go. I can get it on Amazon. The reason I bought this particular brand, there's two brands that you can get here, and I'll just so if you do a search on Amazon for SDR RTL, that you'll get all of these devices back. So there's some really cool stuff. Obviously, like some smaller devices, nano things. You can put some antennas on. I like to be able to at least throw it outside if I need to throw it outside. But I did get this brand. This RTLSDR.com is kind of the de facto standard, but for some reason these guys actually shipped out of the Amazon warehouse by my house, so I can get it next day, and that was kind of the cool thing, or even same day if I'm on in the early in the morning. So I got this same day. It just came really late yesterday, and I didn't have a chance to get on the stream and load it. But you can see it starts getting crazy, right? There's a lot of stuff that you can end up looking at, and there's passive filters, there's different antennas. Really, you're going to end up, it's a hobby. It really is a hobby. Amateur radio hams, and I'm actually a licensed GMRS operator as well. So I've got kind of this stuff lying around. I've got a little bit of this domain of knowledge that I have, and I just kind of want to mash that up with ServiceNow because I thought that was really cool, and especially if we're pulling in something cool like airplane tail numbers. I mean, who else can say that they've got running in their ServiceNow instance, right? And you can see, that's cool. So we actually got 4 more in since the last time it pulled. So it is actively pulling these in as they're coming over, which is really, really neat. So. Yeah, if you guys have questions, if you want to talk about this kind of a thing, I'll throw links to all of this in the recap of the video. Yep, Jace, awesome. I'm glad we had fun. It was a quick little win and demonstrated import sets, which was really neat. So, and I learned a lot, so that was awesome. So. As always, I appreciate you guys watching. If you have any questions, please hit me up on my social, Phoenix Dev. Drop a link in the Discord, and I will be editing this video and sending this out later, so that everybody can kind of see the digested version of what we did here today. So, all right, thanks, guys.